Okay, so I know I'm pretty much just using Halloween as an excuse to talk about this game, but hey, it's got witches in it. Witches of Halloween. It counts. To me, there is nothing more stress relieving than a good old-fashioned hack and slash. Whether it be as off the walls as Metal Gear Rising, or just as brutally satisfying as God of War. By far the cream of the hack and slash crop is Platinum Games. Something about their games has the immense draw, whether it be their over-the-top presentation or addicting gameplay. One of their most well-known titles is Bayonetta, originally released for the PS3 and Xbox 360. But I'll be playing this off the Wii U re-release that came with the same sequel, Bayonetta 2, a game I will definitely look at in the future. But moving back to Bayonetta 1, is it still any good? Well, let's dive into it and see, shall we? So here's how the story goes, and try to keep up, people, this is going to be a bit of a doozy. In times of old, there existed two clans, the Umbra Witches and the Lumen Sages. A war waged between the two, leading the Umbra Witches victory. But then the humans began the witch hunt, exterminating the remaining Umbra Witches. Cutting forth to present day, we are introduced to our main character Bayonetta, the last of the Umbra Witches, who had been locked in the casket for a couple of centuries or so. So naturally she's a little bit of the old amnesia. But thanks to an informant friend of hers, she finds herself on the trail of the jewel known as the Eye of the World. Though across the trail she confront various characters to learn more about her past and of the Umbra Witches, and all the while beating angels like it's going out of fashion. The story does tend to overstay its welcome at points, and while the cutscenes are entertaining, there are far too many of them at points. Although Bayonetta herself is a very likeable character. Most people tend to look at her design in certain scenes in the game and simply go, "Shield the children from this filthy smut!" And while she certainly has a flirtatious side to her character, she's quick-witted, charming and very funny to watch at times, especially when conversing with certain characters. Presentation-wise, the game looks genuinely solid. Graphically, the game looks alright. Character models look very nice overall. The characters and the enemies you find during your travels have awesome designs, especially some of the enemies. And the various locations Bayonetta travels through in her journeys, whether they be a cemetery or the pearly gates themselves, look really dang good. The soundtrack is absolutely great stuff as well. Tons of well done and funky tunes that put you in the mood for a fight, but also beautifully orchestrated symphonies for the game's boss battles. And to top it off, a remix of Fly Me to the Moon as the main theme of the game that sounds incredible. I guess I should also mention the voice acting as well, so it's pretty overall good stuff. The voice actor for Bayonetta, Helena Taylor, gives a very good performance that fits Bayonetta's character to an absolute T, and the supporting cast is all well cast and well performed as well. Bottom line, the presentation is pretty great stuff. So let's finally dive into the gameplay now. First we talk of how Bayonetta controls when exploring the various locations she delves through. I'm assuming you're playing this game on the Wii U, which also includes newly made touchscreen controls. Word of advice, don't use them. Just don't. You control Bayonetta with the left analog stick and jump with the B button. Pressing it again while in the air allows you to double jump. Huh, that was quick. The various locations are mostly areas that you explore through, mostly broken up by simple puzzles and the intense combat areas. The areas themselves are pretty fun to traverse, and curiosity is usually rewarded with items and other such goodies. One of them being books you find during your adventure that give more in-depth peeks on the lore of the Umbra Witches and whatnot. During her adventures, Bayonetta will gradually gain new abilities that allow her to traverse the land, such as being able to walk on walls, or transforming into a panther or a crow for easier travel and to fly over pits. The puzzles aren't all that taxing though. It's usually a simple affair of put key into door, using Bayonetta's witch abilities to traverse the land, or spinning on a pole to activate mechanisms. It's just enough to spice up the gameplay from just walking into areas and then, oh, combat ensues. Speaking of which, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this game, the combat. To start, it's your basic beat 'em up fare. You have a light attack and a heavy attack which you use with the A and the X buttons. Chaining these buttons together in various combinations results in some of the most fast-paced and satisfying combat ever in a video game. You can shoot your enemies with Bayonetta's guns with the Y button, which is good for keeping enemies in the air ready to combo them. As you beat up angels, Bayonetta will slowly build up her magic meter. When full, pressing A and X at the same time will allow her to perform a torture attack, which works as a very flashy finisher and also gives her a slight bonus. Finally, of course, is the ability to dodge with the ZR button. Doing so at just the right time will activate Bayonetta's Witch Time, which slows the surrounding enemies down and increases Bayonetta's attack strength. The overall style of the combat reminds me heavily of Devil May Cry games, well, specifically Devil May Cry 3.
but overall I feel Bayonetta's control is a lot more diverse and fun to mess about with than Dante's.
I didn't even mention how Bayonetta ends encounters with bigger enemies and bosses by summoning giant demons from her head to finish them in spectacular fashion. These do, however, come with a quick time event. Yes, quick time events are quite abundant in this game, and most of them can lead to instant death scenarios, which can be very annoying, but these occasions of the instant death QTE are rare, though most of the time it's when you're finishing off a big enemy or a boss for a big cash bonus. By defeating Heaven's Little Helpers, you will gain halos, which when taken to the gates of hell can be used to purchase items, accessories to give you new abilities, and extra health and magic. You can also buy new weapons should you find special CDs scattered in some levels, which can spice up Bayonetta's playstyle, such as a katana or a lovely set of shotguns. Boss fights are incredibly exhilarating, each one having massive scale and various tactics that makes fighting each of them an absolute treat, especially the final boss. I'll just leave you to see that for yourself. So in conclusion, Bayonetta is an exceptionally fun game. Slight flaws like the overdone amount of cutscenes and the quick time events. Everything else though is incredibly fun and a great time for fans of the hack and slash genre. For those that haven't experienced it yet, I say go for it. It's pretty cheap these days and you're getting more than your money's worth with this chunk of magic gold.
In fact, one might say the game is quite bewitching. Hey guys, Miketendo here. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked what you saw and want to see my other reviews, you can click that link in the little picture thing right there to take you to the playlist where I have all my other reviews I currently have available. And if you want to stay updated on upcoming reviews that I'm going to be doing in the future, you can go ahead and follow my Twitter page where you'll be updated on my general ramblings and various things that are happening with my reviews. So with that said, I've been Miketendo, thank you guys for watching and have a nice day.